What's up guys, my name is Sebastian and welcome to another episode of Hablando Shet. Today we're going to review episode 6 of Wandavision titled A Halloween Spectacular, something like that. If you want to see my other spoiler reviews, you can go watch on the Sebastian show right there, all 5 episodes. But I decided I'm going to do it right here for you guys. I'm going to keep doing the reviews right here to the very end, till Falcon Winter Soldier. All the reviews are going to be right here. But I will try to put all the 5 previous reviews right here on this channel, but for right now you can go watch them right now on the Sebastian show on YouTube. So spoilers are bound. I'm just gonna go full on details of what happened through the whole episode. So if you've not seen this episode and you don't want to spoil, do not watch this review. But if you've not seen the show, if you've not seen the episode, you don't give a shit about spoilers, and you're welcome to stay. But I'm doing this as if you've seen the show. So let's get right to it. I mean, this episode is interesting. They decided to do a Halloween themed episode. I mean, in the middle of February. I mean, but that's cool. I like it. It doesn't have to be around the season for it to be themed during a holiday. You know, it doesn't have to be that. But it was interesting why they wanted to do a Halloween theme. I don't know, maybe next episode will be Christmas themed? I don't know. But I thought this was cool because immediately you can tell that this whole episode is an homage to Malcolm in the Middle, which is a great show. I haven't seen the whole show, but I've seen some stuff, and there's some good, funny stuff, some very creative stuff, a lot of good stuff that came out from that show. From the intro already, I was like, oh, is this supposed to be Malcolm in the Middle? And yeah, I like it. And even we feel it focus on Billy's like breaking for the fourth wall, which there's something with that I want to talk about in one specific scene. So that was cool. It was a super homage. I mean, we're in the 90s now, which if we're still doing the TV theme stuff, are we gonna do early 2000s? Is this where we're gonna go? I don't know, because we're running up out of decades already, so we're gonna catch up with our time. Which immediately, once you see Billy in his costume, I'm like, bruh, already with the Easter eggs and shit. I love it. So if you don't know, from Young Avengers, he's dressed as the character Wiccan, which I'm not sure if he's, well, yes, he is the son of Wanda in the comics, so it's cool they already just gave him the costume, and he looks cool, even though he's not like the age he's supposed to be in the comics, but still, just having the costume already, even though it's supposed to be like kind of like the cheap version of it, still looks badass. And I like that for a little bit it focused on the kids, almost like Malcolm in the Middle. And then we see Uncle Pietro, which I'm like, okay, of course they dropped the big bombshell that Evan Peters is kind of playing Quicksilver, who's supposed to be the Quicksilver from the MCU, which is a super mind-blowing thing. For this episode, things I think are being a little more clear. I think, but I was just curious. I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on with Evan Peters' Quicksilver Pietro. I want to know what the hell is going on in here. I think it's something to do with multiverses. Like, what is going on? So I like seeing that, you know, the Pietro that we see is like this drunk, lazy, kind of sleazy, not that very good of a person. He's funny, you know. There's some humorous things you can get from him, but you know, aside from maybe some good things that he does maybe with the kids, I mean, he's just not very good of an influence and not very good of a person. And we also see his powers in full form. Doing the speed, almost looking exactly like the MCU's Quicksilver. He's not doing the speed a la the Fox X-Men movies, which is interesting. They want to go through that route. And I guess they really do want to make sure like he is supposed to be the Pietro of the Marvel Avengers movies. Because I didn't think we were going to see him use his powers. I thought he was just going to be, oh, he has the face of Evan Peters, but doesn't have the powers for whatever reason. But he does have them, which is interesting. And what's cool about it is just that he's something that Wanda did not plan or create. He's a question mark. Like, where does he come from? Why is he here? Wanda's trying to figure it out for the whole episode. So that's what's cool. That interaction between him and Wanda, her trying to like, okay, you're my brother. I kind of enjoy this. But at the same time, I don't know who the fuck you are. While he's also trying to figure out what's she doing and how did she do it. We'll talk about that. And it was cool seeing Wanda using the Scarlet Witch costume, also, you know, very cheap looking, you know, but also super cool. I like it, you know, very 70s style. And then we see Vision using his like classic costume from the 70s in comic books. I love it. And also do a lot of Malcolm in the Middle themes by cutting through flashbacks. I think those are cool. And we also do see Quicksilver in his own costume when he comes back, very cheap costume from the comic books, and I think even the same hairdo and everything. I love it. I enjoy it. Even Tommy, which I don't know, is Tommy supposed to be like a Quicksilver, the Young Avengers? I'm not sure about Tommy. I don't know much about Tommy really. I mean, we do see him use his speed powers, so I guess he's supposed to be a Quicksilver Junior. Sorry if I don't know that stuff. Let me know in the comments. I don't know much about Tommy. But we see things get a little bit interesting when Vision decides like, oh, I'm just gonna do a neighborhood watch, you know, Halloween, things will get crazy. And Wanda's like, you're not supposed to do that. And I love it. I'm like, oh shit, that's not in her script. Oh fuck. Vision's like, what? Tell me, what do you mean by that? And Wanda's like, oh, nothing. You're like, you know, it's Halloween, we're supposed to be together. And Vision's like, all right, cool. We should throw out that whole scene. There's a lot of interesting things already, because there's this one scene, I don't know if you noticed, that Billy's speaking to the camera, to the audience, but you notice that Pietro is looking at him. Like, what is he doing? What is he saying? Like, you know something's up with him. Let's just say right now, he's not Pietro. He's not Quicksilver. I do have a theory as to who he is, and I think this episode confirmed it. But things are already weird with him just looking at him. You know, everybody's else supposed to not know. I guess maybe Wanda maybe supposed to know. He knows. He's just like, huh. And that's cool. Stuff like that is just amazing. I love seeing that kind of stuff. Just those little hints and little things in the background. Things you have to notice. Things that make you look like, okay, there's something off of this person. So immediately from what Billy says, like, oh, you know, our parents are not exactly fighting. So Pietro interjects and like, oh, hey, don't worry about it. Vision can go, he does the thing. I'll be with the kids. Don't worry about it. So I don't know what that means. I guess that was his own way to be like, okay, let's just have Vision have the picture for a while. Let me have a one-on-one with Wanda and get some things that I want from her. So they get ready to go out of town, and we see the town full of Halloween festivities. We also cut outside from what's going on with Sword, and we see that Monica and Jimmy and Darcy are pretty mad at Hayward. Like, what the fuck did you do with the missile, the drone? Like, you're not supposed to do that. I mean, what the fuck? And Hayward's like, you know what? I'm kind of done with this bullshit. You guys are like, Monica, you've been defending superpowered people for forever, and it's like, I don't know why. Especially, I know your history with Cara Danvers and how people leave you, which I guess they kind of hint that yes, Captain Marvel just left. I'm just like, well, fuck you guys. I'm going to space and worry about those people. So you see Monica being like, huh, okay, shit, you brought that shit up, but that's not uncalled for. And then Hayward mentions about the past 5 years, how it's been hard to keep it light on, you know, that after those 5 years, he's just not very confident and doesn't like really superpowered people anymore. So he's very prejudiced and not very professional, not professional at all. He's just, as I said, more of a personal agenda. So what he's doing is not exactly good. So Micah's like, hey, we need to like do things right. Like, you can't go in and hurt Wanda. I have a feeling Wanda, I know with Wanda's feelings, so let me just go inside and help her. And one Hayward's like, nah, you know what? You guys are done. Like, I also love that Darcy like had some smack talk, and it was like, do you work for me? And Darcy's like, I don't even know. So Hayward's like, yeah, get him out, get the fuck out of here. Like, we're done. You guys don't work for me anymore. It's over. Until, and I don't know Jimmy's part in doing this, but you know, they're like, oh well, we lost, and nope, boom, give me your gun and everything. We'll also steal your uniform. It's just like, Jimmy's supposed to be in the FBI. Like, how do you think this is a good idea? You know, this can damage his reputation and his career. Although, you know, you can say that maybe he felt he had to do this for the better good, but I'm just like, man, this does not make a good case for his career. Also, that scene with the fighting, it wasn't bad, but it was kind of clunky. I was like, it was super focused on, it was dark, and like, I can't tell much of what's going on. Okay, it wasn't terrible. So yeah, they do a Metal Gear Solid on him, you know, steal their costumes, put him in the trunk of a truck, and like, all right, let's go. So they infiltrate his tent to hack the system, which I guess Darcy is also a hacker. I didn't remember that she was a hacker. I didn't know that. I know she was like an astrophysicist, but I didn't know she was a hacker as well. Like, I don't know, if you watch the CW, DC shows, you know that sometimes they hack so easily. Like, they make it look like it's nothing. I'm like, what? Especially an organization such as Sword, you know, supposed to be like, you know, super tight with that shit. I mean, I guess Darcy's super smart. I get it, but I mean, where she had these skills from, I don't know. So she hacked some stuff, and infiltrated like Hayward's like satellites, knowing like what's going on in the city. So they confirm that he's tracking Vision for whatever reason, and he has a kind of a pinpoint on every citizen that's in the town of Westview. Which Jimmy notices what's going on that we already saw beforehand with Vision, which Vision we see wandering around the town, kind of investigating on his own, things that he needs to know. Like he knows things, since episode 3, he knows that things are just not things. I mean, since the beginning, really. But episode 3 is the one where it's like, I know that something's going on, that something's really weird. So he's pretending like everything's okay, but he's investigating to make sure what is really going on. I also forgot to mention that scene between him and Wanda, where Vision kind of hints at her like, hey, be good. But he goes back to his character like, oh, I'm just a good dad, I'm just having fun. But I love that stuff. They kind of had some subliminal messages to each other, like making sure that Vision like stays on his lane. Vision kind of telling Wanda like, please be good, like, you know, like do the right thing here. But I love that Vision's already wandering and he sees like one person's frozen or just doing things back with like the same motions, and you see a tear shedding from her eye, and he's like, what is going on? It's some weird, I was like weirded out a little bit, like, oh, this is getting kind of creepy. This is eerie, but I love it. I love this shit. And also see what's going on around the town with Wanda, Pietro, and the kids having just shenanigans. You know, Pietro goofing around with the kids, stealing candy. We see Wanda interact with Herb, which again, there's some stuff going on with that, because Herb's like, oh, is something wrong? Like, is something you need to do, Wanda? Kind of saying like, you want me to fix some stuff that you need me to fix on the script or something? And Wanda's like, no, it's okay. So again, something's going on. Herb and Agnes have something going on in the relations with, they're mind controlled by her, but they also have some sort of free will where they kind of cooperate with her. Like, hey, if you don't like how things are, you want me to do them again? I don't know. I think I have a theory for that now, especially after this episode. It was interesting. It was interesting seeing them, like, huh, okay, things are just getting weird and weirder. You see Pietro, sometimes it's like, Pietro's in character, but sometimes he breaks off a character, and Wanda's just like, wait, what? What is going on? Pietro's like desperate to get something from her. Almost to a point that he just does not care if he breaks character. He's like, I just need something from you. I need that now. I love it because you don't know who he is supposed to be. What is he doing? What is his motives? There's just something off with him. There's something that I keep an eye on him. Man, what is going on? But yes, we see Vision doing more investigation as we see that he goes through a cul-de-sac, and he notices how everyone there is frozen. He's talking to them like, something going on, like something happened, but they're not responsive. So he's like, okay. So whoop, cuts off from his costume, and now he's like in full Vision mode. And I'm like, oh shit. So he flies up to the sky, looks at the town, almost like Superman style, listening to everything, and they notice a car. And they notice a car is just standing still, you know, with the lights on. And he's just curious about it. Let's just go and see what's going on. And then we see that it's Agnes. So if you follow my reviews, I've been saying that Agnes, there's something up with her, like maybe she's a villain. I don't think that's the case anymore. Some people theorize that she's Agatha, who's like supposed to be this caretaker for the kids, for Wanda's kids. Maybe she is, because we sort of reveal that she's also part of the people who are mind controlled for Wanda. Okay, the thing, I love that scene, by the way. I love that scene where, you know, Vision just zapped, because she's stuck there, kind of like doesn't know where she is. She's lost, and Vision's like, but you've been born and raised in this town, like how you don't know where things are? Until he's like, I'm just not gonna bullshit anymore, like zap her out of her mind control. And then supposedly she's supposed to be this woman who's like, oh my god, like, am I dead? And she reveals to him that Vision is really dead, and he's supposed to be an Avenger. And I love that Vision's like, what's an Avenger? Like, what are you talking about? Like, dead? Like, I'm supposed to be dead? What? So Agnes is freaking out, and Vision's like, okay, like, this is not helping at all, but, you know, I will help you on later on. Let me just, like, put you back on mind control, and let me just deal with things, and I'll fix this. So he decides to go past, I think was it Aaron Avenue or something like that, which is the hint that Wanda gave to Tommy and went to town, which by the way, I love that in the billboard for the theater it says like The Incredibles and Parent Trap. I don't know if they're like an advertisement for Disney Plus. Watch it right now. But those are not movies that came out in the 90s. The Incredibles? We're talking about the animated movie? That did not come out in the 90s. So I don't know, maybe it's just something for the younger kids. Like, they won't know about this 90s movie stuff. Although they were supposed to be born in the 80s, the 70s, so what does it matter if they don't know about some movies from the 80s? They're supposed to know, if one that wants to keep that illusion alive, that they're supposed to be in these past decades. But anyway, that scene of like, Tommy's like, oh, I want to run and like, break the speed of light. And she's like, hey, don't go past Aaron Avenue, wherever it is. Which I know what she meant by that, because the barrier's right there. But I love this scene between her and Pietro, because Pietro, again, is getting more desperate. He wants to get something. He comes out of nowhere like, oh, so what happened to your accent? She's like, the fuck? What happened to yours? And we're like, oh, just things happen, things get mixed up. Like, he comes with some excuse, and Wanda's like, okay, awesome. But she's still curious for this whole episode, like something is different about him. We cut back to Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy, who find out like some information. So, but the thing, Monica's, again, she's talking to this person, like, oh, let me get this information through my group. Who is this group? Who is she talking to? And the thing is, they're supposed to meet this person we don't see in the episode, which I'm like, okay, fuck, like, who is this supposed to be? Like, I think it's Reed Richards. Maybe it's Reed Richards. I would be blown away if it's him. I would be so happy with that. It has to be someone huge, because she keeps mentioning this person, and we don't know who he is. We haven't seen who he is. We don't know the name of this person. Like, if it wasn't anyone that's not a big of a deal, they would mention his name already. Man, it's Reed Richards. Like, am I wrong here? Like, let me know in the comments. I think it's Reed Richards. So they're like, okay, let's go. Let's get out of here. But also Darcy's like, wait, you're trying to get back to the town? Like, you've been there twice. It's not good. So your health records, like for the scans and tests, you don't look good. It's changing your genes, like everything. It is not good. And Monica's like, hey, I have to do it. I have to go in there and save Wanda. And she's the hero. She's a noble person. She wants to do the right thing. Darcy's like, oh, all right, cool. And Jimmy, I guess, I forgot what Jimmy's excuse was to like not be mind control. I think he brought something about his magic again. Oh, and by the way, there's this commercial with the most fucked up commercial throughout this whole show so far, which is like this like Hawaiian punch style juice called Yo Magic. I mean, this kid's stuck on an island. He's trying to open this thing, and he can't open it, and he dies. Like, which again, the tagline at the end is like, Yo Magic, the thing that keeps you alive, or like survive, something like that. I guess this is supposed to say that her magic is what's keeping her alive. I guess that's what it is, but god damn, that commercial, very 90s, but also the most fucked up 90s commercial I've ever seen. But it was fun. It was like, wow, I did not expect that turn. Jesus. So they decide to leave, but Darcy decides to stay. Monica's like, what? You can't be here. This is not safe for you to be here. And she's like, no, I have a feeling I have to keep hacking. There's some stuff that maybe Hayward's still having hidden that I want to like unlock and see what's going on. So Monica's like, all right, if that's what you want to do. Okay, cool. So they leave. They go to the Humvee, and they just go to meet this person like under the bridge or something like that, or at the bridge. So they go away until the rest of SWORD is trying to go back around this force field to see who's coming out from that force field, because we see Vision's just, fuck it, I'm gonna go through that wall, and I want to know what's going on once and for all. And we see that things are just getting increased and heated up. Like, he's just going out like, ugh, like his parts like decomposing, a la Infinity War. I thought that they were gonna try to save him, because Darcy comes out and like, oh my god, like, please save him, like, do something, goddamn, don't let him die. The thing is, Vision's trying to get out, but he can't, because he's also semi-stuck to the force field. But again, as I kind of already predicted, once he gets out, boom, he's dead, because he's not under Wanda's mystical powers. And I love that the scene gets so much better once Billy knows, like, whoa, something's going on in here. Because throughout the whole episode, we don't see Billy having powers. It's just the one kid who's like, his powers are so hidden, he needs like this one critical moment for powers to manifest. And it did, because he knows like, wait, dad. So he knows that something's going on, his dad's in danger. So he goes straight to Wanda, like, Wanda. But before that scene, there's this like one of the best scenes of the show as well is that last interaction between her and Pietro, because he's like, I was like, man, this is awesome. This city's awesome. Like, this is cool. One is like, yeah, man. I know that in the beginning it might look like it's a little bit cheesy or whatever, but it's awesome, isn't it? Kind of like reassuring herself, like, hey, what I'm doing is not bad. But Pietro's like, oh, it's not bad, but how did you do it? Like, how did you? Because it comes out of nowhere, like, again, trying to break her off a little bit, saying like, oh, so how did you do with the kids? Like, did you like tuck them away from bed, you know, put them in here? I mean, good job. I mean, it's not bad because, you know, you have the couple staying together, you know, and so what you're doing is not necessarily bad, but like, how did you do it, man? Like, how did you do that? And so Wanda, again, it's like she's breaking off of her own illusion once again, because Pietro's the one that's like kind of bringing her off from that illusion again and again with his questions. But in this moment, she's like, oh, so what am I doing? What I'm doing is not wrong, right? It's not a bad thing. And Pietro's like, oh man, it's not bad, but he wants to know, how are you doing this? And I think this scene confirms who he is supposed to be. And people have been theorized it's not something new, but I do think this episode confirms that Pietro is actually Mephisto. Because this one bit of dialogue is what made me know, like, yep, it's him. Because he said like, oh, this is much different, this is much better than just going under kids' beds and scaring them and stuff like that and give them nightmares. Which that's a Mephisto thing, which I'm like, okay, so it's him. It's him. So I think his motive is that he wants to know how to want to create this whole town, having people under her whim, so he can do that as well. Not maybe create a town, but create his own reality and have people under his own control and create chaos as he wants to do. So that for me confirms that he is Mephisto. If this is not Pietro, that for whatever reason he impersonated Evan Peters' Quicksilver, which that makes me think, like, does he travel around the multiverse? That's incredible. That is incredible. So maybe, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea instead of actually looking like Aaron Taylor Johnson to kind of fall more on Wanda's side and get the information that he wants, but this does not help his case. So maybe he got confused or something? I don't know. I don't know why he just chose to do that face, but I think it's confirmed that he's Mephisto. But once the kids come in and break the news to her, I love this scene where she just, boom, like, all right, awesome. Like, let me just go to full Scarlet Witch mode. Like, freezes everyone and increases the force field, which this scene is also amazing and just intense because the force field's increasing. You see Hayward, everybody's like, oh fuck, let's get out of here. So just trying to escape. But the thing is, they leave Darcy. Darcy's like attached to a car. So I'm like, oh shit, is Darcy gonna get into the force field? Is she gonna be part of the show now? Which I guess she is, because she got sucked into the force field. I'm like, oh fuck. So that'll be something interesting to see next episode. Like, what role is she gonna play? Or is she somehow not gonna be in full control? I mean, I don't know why she'd be so special as to not be, but I'm curious as to what's gonna happen to her next week. And then the last thing we see from Jimmy and Monica is that they escape from the force field, and so I guess we'll see who they're gonna contact next week, hopefully. And I mean, please tell me it's Reed Richards. And we also see that Hayward has also escaped from the force field because it almost touched them, but they managed to survive. The force field stopped at a sudden pace. I mean, we see that Vision's back. He's sucked it right back in. But I guess he has information that he can use for next week. But the question is Wanda going to confront him? Most definitely she will. And the episode ends with her eyes going back to normal. And boom, just ends right there. I was like, fuck, are you serious? Like, it ended right here? Fuck, man. I wanted to know what's going to happen. And man, these episodes sound like they just end at a moment. It's just like, it looked like there's going to be more. And it's like, damn, man. Fuck you guys for doing that. But I love it. So now the questions are, Darcy, what's going to happen to her? Agnes, like, what's going on with her? Like, what's really going on? Is she not in control? Is she pretending? Like, it's like, one of the things I can question from that scene with Vision is that I think, like, is she pretending like she's under her Wanda's control? Maybe, but I don't know. I can't put my guard down with her yet. I think maybe she has something going on. Maybe she's not a bad person. I don't think she's who she's leading on to be, like she's under control or whatever. I don't know. Because why is Agnes so special throughout this whole show? I think what's going on. There's something up with her. Who is Monica and Jimmy gonna meet next week? This is gonna be very interesting. I hope this is a character we can enjoy and just hopefully it's Reed Richards. Goddamn it, I'll say it again. Hopefully it's Reed Richards. And what's Hayward gonna do? Is he going to get more people, other organizations like Shield? Although Shield's not supposed to be existing publicly, right? Is he gonna get other help? I don't think so. I mean, it's not like the whole organization disappeared, but it'll be interesting to see what is he gonna do now. Is he gonna retaliate? Most definitely he will. And what is Mephisto gonna do? Because let's just call him Mephisto. He's not Pietro, he's Mephisto. What is Mephisto gonna do now next week? Are we gonna go to early 2000s television? I don't know. But things are just crazy. As we see, the whole town's bigger and wider. So what are they gonna do? I think most governments are gonna come in now. This is a bigger threat than it was originally. Things are gonna get big. I think this is gonna have some repercussions to the MCU in a way. I think this is gonna be mentioned for future movies. I think this is gonna be it's an event. It's an event. So I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen next week. I think this is great. Wanda was great. Just trying to keep these two characters of like, oh, the mom, but also the Wanda who knows what's going on. I'm just pretending everything like this is real. So Elvis Olsen is amazing, and Paul Bettany's vision was awesome because he's also trying to do things like, oh, I'm trying to be the dad and the good husband so Wanda doesn't kill me. Not kill me, but you know what I mean. But also trying to be the real vision of me, trying to investigate what is going on. Which we kind of see that Wanda's powers are huge. To make this corpse look like he's alive, that's a lot of power. And Monica was good. Teyonah Parris, she's good. I mean, Randall Parks as Jimmy Woo, he's cool. I enjoy seeing these characters for the little bits that we see them. I mean, Darcy, played by Kat Dennings, she's good. Everyone's good. Hayward, I mean, everyone is good, even the kids. And of course, Evan Peters is fantastic in the show. I think he's menacing. But, you know, from the beginning, he's just not menacing. He's not a good guy. But you can see, as you go on, he's just not... He's worse than you thought he would be. He's just not... He's evil, man. He's evil. I know it. And Evan Peters just knows how to play a malicious character. He just knows how to do it so well. So, man, I love this. I love where this is going. And we only have like 3 episodes left, so I don't know what's going to happen. That's the thing about the show. I have no idea what's going to happen. No idea. This is one negative I will say. This is one weird looking scene where it just cuts from like the board that Hayward's looking to Hayward and the crew. But the way that the pacing, the frame rate on that show, it looked off. It looked really bad. I'm like, oh, weird. Other than that, this whole thing is good. I mean, maybe some of the CGI is not fantastic. I mean, Vision's flying, sometimes looks good. Doesn't look terrible. It just obviously doesn't look like maybe movie level. Still looks good. I mean, this show has movie level budget. Just doesn't have like full on movie budget like the movies. Somewhat have TV budget, but it's crosses the borders. Like, it's like movie, sometimes it's a little bit television, but still it's way better than anything from like Netflix, like Marvel shows, or from even ABC stuff. I mean, come on. This is Marvel Studios we're talking about. Like, they got the money, so yeah. But yeah, man, this episode, I mean, the rating, direction, everything was good. I mean, I guess some of the choreography is a little bit off. Just that one fight scene, but everything else is good. The homages to the 90s television, like Malcolm in the Middle, everything is just so good. This show is just top notch so far. And I think it's gonna end in a high note. It's gonna be so good. So I'm gonna give this episode a 9 out of 10. Fantastic, amazing, love it. So I cannot wait to see what's gonna happen next week. What do you guys think is gonna happen next week? What are your theories? What do you think about this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What are some of the details that maybe I missed that you think that I should know, that we want to bring up to the people? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. So stay tuned for next week for more Wandavision reviews. Subscribe if you want to see more of these reviews and other kinds of reviews. And you also like this video, like, share, and stay tuned for more stuff like this and other wide variety content right here on Hablando Shet. And my name is Sebastian Productions. Y yo seguir aquí, Hablando Shet.